These are the 5 updates I'm looking forward to the most for Final Fantasy XIV's 7.0 Dawntrail. Let's get into it. Number 1, the story, as I'm sure it is for most of us. Coming into 14, I was not expecting to be so captivated by an MMO's narrative, and in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised that it turned out to be pretty damn good. It is Final Fantasy after all, a series I played as a young lad looking to embark on an epic journey and get lost in a new world. And while some might be a little hesitant or worried about 7.0 branching off from a decade-long arc, I'm optimistic about where we go from here. What will the team create for us? What new threats to the universe or existential crises will we have to face? Will we visit other shards? What about all the places Emmett mentioned? Or will this truly just be a summer vacation? I'm excited to see the possibilities. And I'm equally excited to experience a new expansion in tandem with the rest of the player base. I feel like there's a certain aura of excitement that comes with the new launch, and it's something that I really haven't gotten to experience with 14 yet. I did join up right around the WoW exodus, even though I wasn't a refugee, sort of, but I felt distant from whatever a majority of the player base was doing. I was just a young sprout. I had no idea what was going on. And when Endwalker came out, I was still in Shadowbringers. I remember exactly where I was at that time. The Raktika Greatwood. I wasn't fully able to experience this new release with the rest of the player base, but who knew? Who knew that that would be my first taste of ultimate raiding? Those damn server queues. Couldn't log into the game at all. RIP. Let's go on to number 2. Graphical updates. Another big one that I'm sure a lot of us are looking forward to. Now, while I was a bit underwhelmed by the clothing or armor texture updates, and while all I could think about when looking at the updated character models was smooth SpongeBob, I think it's a great direction overall. What I'm most excited about is the updated environments and the lighting. I think the lighting is the biggest game changer, and they really nailed this. And the lighting is really something that's going to affect everything else, right? Clothing, characters, environments. Current Final Fantasy XIV feels very dark. It's not very bright, right? It's not very saturated, and it has this cooler hue to it. The environmental updates that they were showing looked awesome. Things are brighter, things are warmer, a bit more saturated, and it just pops. I think one of the major complaints that outside MMO players have about Final Fantasy XIV is the way it looks, which I think you could split into 2 different camps, right? One is the artistic style, the aesthetic of the game, which you can't really change. So if somebody doesn't like that, then it is what it is, right? But on the other side, it's really just how outdated it might seem. Graphic quality, visual quality. So improvement there, I think, is a step in the right direction. And who knows, maybe it's enough to tip the scales. Maybe it's enough to get new players interested, and I think that's awesome. So excited to see where this goes. Let's hop into number 3. Expansive new lifestyle content. Here they talked about Island Sanctuary and developing something of a similar nature, which I'm all here for. One of my favorite things about MMOs is seeing people hanging around and doing non-combative things or things that you might not consider streamlined in a typical MMO. I love the idea of Island Sanctuary. I think I had some grandiose ideas of what Island Sanctuary was going to be before it came out, and while I may have overhyped myself, it does sound like Island Sanctuary will continue to be developed and not dropped after this patch cycle. Let me know if you hear otherwise. So if they do continue to flesh out systems like this, then I'm really excited. I love having a variety of things to do in an MMO, but it's more than just a quantity thing. Right? We can have 100 different things to do, but if none of them feel substantial enough, then what's the point? Versus having a few things to do that are deep and complex and provide some substance. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I want to see where that goes. By the way, I don't suppose something like a Eureka or Baja would fall under this category, right? Regardless, I have been enjoying my time in these 2 areas and would love to see another more fleshed out instance similar to these 2 that I just mentioned. Let's move on to number 4, which is PvP. That's right, I PvP. Do you PvP? No? I'm not surprised. I don't suppose that Final Fantasy XIV is really known for its PvP scene, right? But it's something that I have loved ever since I was a little kid. I grinded to Crystal Rank in Season 1 and Season 2 of CC, but I haven't really touched it since. And from what I understand, CC, or at least competitive CC, tends to die off after a certain point each season. I love frontlines. I do it almost daily. I queue up at odd hours and it's not that difficult to find a match. I haven't touched Rival Wings, and that's just kind of been my experience with PvP thus far. They did mention updates to all game modes, CC, Frontlines, Rival Wings. For Frontlines specifically, they mentioned map updates, but for PvP in general, I hope it's more than just map updates. I don't really have an answer for this, but I just want to see the PvP community thrive. Is it thriving right now? You tell me. Maybe I'm just out of touch, but I would love to see a hustling and bustling community, more tournaments, more competitive tournaments. Just more shine for PvP, more in-depth ways to go about it. Let's move on to number 5 here. Number 5, we're getting a little bit cheeky. It's the Fall Guys update. That's right. I'm actually really excited for the Fall Guys collab, which I don't think is exactly a 7.0 thing. It's just something that's going to happen in the near future, right? This is kind of tied to point number 3. If you hop into my stream, you might witness one of my rants about my perfect gold saucer, my grandiose idea of an amusement park arcade type of hub with millions of players hanging out, just another living, breathing space where players are existing. I've always wanted to see more games, more variety, just more things to do in the gold saucer, and this does look fun. The Fall Guys update does look very fun. I love Leap of Faith, so this is right up my alley. Here's a bonus number 6 for you. Regardless of how you feel about Microsoft, I'm excited about the future Xbox compatibility. I don't own an Xbox. I've been team PlayStation for a while now, but I play on my PC. Regardless, I think it's just a good way to inject new blood, new players into the game, keep the game thriving. So there it is, 5 or 6 updates that I'm excited. Oh my lord. 5 or 6 updates that I'm excited about for the future of Final Fantasy XIV. I'd be curious to hear your opinions. Let me know, what are you excited about? So what are you wary about? What's your social security number? All right, just let me know. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Peace out. Have a good one.